Chapter number 1, The Living World की NCERT podcast. So let's start. How wonderful is the living world? The wide range of living types is amazing. The extraordinary habitat in which we find living organisms, be it cold mountains, deciduous forests, oceans, freshwater lakes, desert or hot spring, leave us speechless. The beauty of galloping horse, of migratory birds, the value of flowers, or the attacking shark evoke awe and a deep sense of wonder. The ecological conflict and cooperation among members of a population and among population of a community, or even the molecular traffic inside a cell, make us deeply reflect on what indeed is life. This question has two implicit, means hidden questions within it. The first is technical one and seek answer to what living is as opposed to the non-living, and the second is philosophical one and seeks answer to what the purpose of life is. As scientists, we shall not attempt answering the second question. We will try to reflect on what is living. Diversity in the living world. 1.1 The diversity in the living world. So, if you look around, you will see a large variety of living organisms, be it potted plants, insects, birds, your pets, or other animals and plants. There are also several organisms that you cannot see with your naked eye, but they are all around you. If you were to increase the area that you make observation in, the range and the variety of organisms that you see would increase. Obviously, if you were to visit a dense forest, you would probably see a much greater number and kinds of living organisms in it. Each different kind of plants, animals or organism that you see represent a species. The number of species that are known and described range between 1.7 to 1.8 million. This is the most important data. This refers to the biodiversity or the number and types of organisms present on earth. We should remember here that as we explore new area and even old ones, new organisms are continuously being identified. As stated earlier, there are millions of plants and animals in the world. We know the plants and animals in our own area by their local names. These local names would vary from place to place, even within a country. Probably you would recognize the confusion that would be created if we did not find ways and means to talk to each other, to refer to organism we are talking about. Hence, there is a need to standardize the naming of living organism, such that a particular organism is known by the same name all over the world. This process is called nomenclature. Obviously, nomenclature or naming is only possible when the organism is described correctly, and we know to what organism the name is attached to. This is identification. In order to facilitate the study, number of scientists have established procedures to assign a scientific name to each known organism. This is acceptable to biologists all over the world. For plants, scientific names are based on agreed principles and criteria, which are provided in International Code for Botanical Nomenclature (ICBN). You may ask, how are animals named? Animal taxonomists have evolved International Code of Zoological Nomenclature (ICZN). The scientific name ensures that each organism has only one name. Description of any organism should enable the pupil in any part of the world to arrive at the same name. They also ensure that such a name has not been used for any other known organism. Biologists follow universally accepted principles to provide scientific names to known organisms. Each name has two components, the generic name and the specific epithet. This system of providing a name with two components is called binomial nomenclature. This naming system given by Carolus Linnaeus is being practiced by biologists all over the world. This naming system using a two-word format was found convenient. Let us take the example of mango to understand the way of providing scientific names better. The scientific name of mango is written as Mangifera indica. Let us see how it is binomial name. In this name, Mangifera represents the genus, while Indica is a particular species or a specific epithet. Other universal rules of nomenclature are as follow. Biological names are generally in Latin and written in italics. They are Latinized or derived from Latin irrespective of their origin. The first word in the biological name represents the genus, while the second component denotes the specific epithet. Both the word in the biological name when handwritten are separately underlined or printed in italics to indicate their Latin origin. The first word denoting the genus starts with the capital letter, while the specific epithet starts with a small letter. It can be illustrated with the example of Mangifera indica. The name of author appears after the specific epithet at the end of the biological name and is written in an abbreviated form, Mangifera indica Linn. It indicates that this species was first described by Linnaeus. Since it is nearly impossible to study all the living organism, it is necessary to devise some means to make this possible. This process is classification. Classification is the process by which anything is grouped into convenient categories based on some easily observable characters. For example, we easily recognize groups such as plants or animals, or dogs, cats, or insects. The moment we use any of these terms, we associate certain characters with the organism in that group. What image do you see when you think of a dog? Obviously, each one of us will see dogs and not cats. Now, if we were to think of a cetacean, we know what we are talking about. Similarly, suppose we were to say mammals. You would of course think of animals with external ears and body hair. Likewise, in plants, if we try to talk of wheat, the picture in each of our minds will be of wheat plants, not of rice or any other plant. Hence, all these dogs, cats, mammals, wheat, rice, plants, animals, etc. are convenient categories we use to study organism. The scientific term for these categories is taxa. Here you must recognize that taxa can indicate categories at a very different level. Plants also form a taxa. Wheat is also a taxa. Similarly, animals, mammals, dogs are all taxa. But you know that a dog is a mammal and mammal are animals. Therefore, animal, mammal, dog represent taxa at different level. Hence, based on characteristic, all living organisms can be classified into different taxa. This process of classification is taxonomy. External and internal structure along with the structure of cell, development process and ecological information of organism are essential and form the basis of modern taxonomic studies. This is important actually. The question will be, what is the basis of modern taxonomic studies? So you should write these points. Hence, characteristic, identification, classification and nomenclature are the process that are basic to taxonomy. Taxonomy is not something new. Human beings have always been interested in knowing more and more about the various kind of organism, particularly with reference to their own use. In early days, human beings needed to find sources for their basic needs of food, clothing and shelter. Hence, the earliest classification were based on the uses of various organisms. Human beings were since long not only interested in knowing more about different kind of organisms and their diversities, but also the relationship among them. This branch of study was referred to as systematics. The word systematics is derived from the Latin word systema, which means systematic arrangement of organism. Linnaeus used Systema Naturae as the title of his publication. The scope of systematic was enlarged to include identification, nomenclature and classification. Systematics takes into account evolutionary relationship between organisms. This is most important about systematic, that systematic takes into account evolutionary relationship between organisms. Taxonomic categories. Classification is not a single step process. but involve hierarchy of steps in which each step represents a rank or category. Since category is a part of overall taxonomic arrangement, it is called taxonomic category. Hence, all categories together constitute the taxonomic hierarchy. Each category referred to as unit of classification. In fact, represent a rank and is commonly termed as taxon. Taxonomic categories and hierarchy can be illustrated by an example. Insects represent a group of organisms sharing common features like three pairs of jointed legs. It means insects are recognizable concrete objects which can be classified and thus were given a rank or category. Can you name other such groups of organisms? Remember, group represent category further denote rank, and each rank or taxon in fact represent a unit of classification. These taxonomic groups categories are distinct biological entities and not merely morphological aggregates. Taxonomical studies of all known organisms have led to the development of common categories such as kingdom, phylum, or division. For plants, class, order, family, genus, and species. All organisms, including those in the plants and animal kingdom, have a species as the lowest category. This is most important, that a species as the lowest category. Now the question you may ask is how to place an organism in various categories. The basic requirement is the knowledge of characters of an individual or group of organism. This helps in identifying similarity and dissimilarity among the individual of the same kind of organism as well as of other kinds of organism. So let's study about species. The species term was given by the John Ray. So taxonomic studies consider a group of individual organisms which fundamental similarity as a species. One should be able to distinguish one species from other closely related species based on distinct morphological differences. Let us consider Mangifera indica, Solanum tuberosum potato, and Panthera leo lion. All the three names indica, tuberosum, and leo represent a specific epithet, while the first word Mangifera, Solanum, Panthera are genera and represent another higher level of taxon or category. Each genus may have one or more than one specific epithet representing different organisms but having morphological similarities. For example, Panthera has another specific epithet called tigris. In Solanum include species like nigrum and melongena. Human beings belong to the species Sapiens, which is grouped into genus Homo. The scientific name thus for human being is written as Homo sapiens. Next one is genus. First of all, let me tell you a mnemonic for remembering the taxonomic categories. So it is Piscofungus. Okay, so let me write this Piscofungus. Okay, so here P for phylum, C for class, O for order, F for family, G for genus and S for species. Okay, and kingdom तो सबको याद रहता है कि ये सबसे higher category. Okay, so this is the basic trick, that is Piscofungus. Okay, so let's learn more about genus. So this is our genus. Genus comprises a group of related species which is more character in common in comparison to species of other genera. We can say that genera are aggregate of closely related species. For example, potato and brinjal are two different species but both belong to the genus Solanum. Lion, Panthera leo, leopard, Panthera pardus, and tiger, Panthera tigris, with several common features, are all species of the genus Panthera. This genus differs from the another genus Felis, which include cats. So let's know more about family. So the next category, family, has a group of related genera with still less number of similarity as compared to genus and species. Families are characterized on the basis of both vegetative and reproductive feature of plant species. Among plants, for example, three different genera Solanum, Petunia, Dhatura are placed in family Solanaceae. Among animals, for example, genus Panthera comprising lion, tiger, leopard is put along with genus Felis in the family Felidae. Similarly, if you observe the feature of a cat and a dog, you will find some similarity and some differences as well. They're separated into two different families, Felidae and Canidae respectively. So let's know more about order. So you have seen earlier that categories like species, genus, families are based on number of similar characters. Generally, order and other higher taxonomic categories are identified based on aggregate of characters. Okay, order being a higher category is the assemblage of families which exhibit a few similar characters. The similar characters are less in number as compared to different genera included in a family. Plants families like Convolvulaceae, Solanaceae are included in the order Polemoniales, mainly based on floral characters. Okay, the animal order Carnivora include families like Felidae and Canidae. Let's know more about classes. This category include related order. For example, order Primata, comprising monkey, gorilla, gibbon, is placed in class Mammalia along with the order Carnivora that include animal like tiger, cat and dog. Class Mammalia has other orders also. Phylum. Classes, let's know more about phylum. So, classes comprising animals like fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, along with mammal constitute the next higher category called phylum. All these based on some common features like presence of notochord and dorsal hollow neural system are included in phylum Chordata. In case of plants, classes with few similar characters are assigned to the higher category called division. Kingdom. All animals belonging to various phyla are assigned to highest category called kingdom Animalia in the classification system of animals. The kingdom Plantae on the other hand is distinct and comprise all plants from various division. Henceforth, we will refer to these two groups as animal and plant kingdom. The taxonomic categories from species to kingdom have been shown in ascending order, starting with the species in figure 1.1. That is this figure 1.1. Here is species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, order, division and kingdom. Okay, now these are broad categories. However, taxonomists have also developed subcategories in these hierarchy to facilitate more sound and scientific placement of various taxa. Look at the hierarchy in the figure 1.1. Can you recall the basis of arrangement? Say for example, as we go higher from a species to kingdom, the number of common characteristics goes decreasing. Lower the taxa, more are the characteristic that the member within the taxon share. Higher the category, greater is the difficulty of determining the relationship to other taxa at the same level. Hence, the problem of classification become more complex. Table 1.1 indicate the taxonomic categories to which some common organism like housefly, man, mango, wheat belongs. So this is the table. This is the table. So common name man, biological name Homo sapiens, genus Homo, family Hominidae, ऑर्डर प्राइमेटा, क्लास मैमेलिया, फाइलम एंड डिवीजन इसका कोऑर्डिनेटर है. ओके, हाउस फ्लाई के लिए अगर देखें तो इसका बायोलॉजिकल नेम मस्का डोमेस्टिका है. मस्का डोमेस्टिका तो मस्का हमारे पास जीनस हो गया, डोमेस्टिका हमारे पास क्या हो गया, इसका स्पीशीज हो गया. इसकी फैमिली हमारे पास मसेडी है. इसका जो ऑर्डर है डिप्टेरा, क्लास इंसेक्टा, फाइलम ऑर्थ्रोपोडा. फॉर मैंगो इट इज मैंजीफेरा इंडिका, जीनस इज मैंजीफेरा, फैमिली इज एनाकार्डिएसी, ऑर्डर इज सपिंडल्स एंड क्लास इज डाइकोटिलेडन्स एंड phylum of division is actually this is for plants, so this will be division, so it is angiosperm. And wheat biological name is Triticum aestivum and genus is Triticum, family is Poaceae, order is Poace, class is Monocotyledons and division is angiosperm. Okay, so we have to learn only summary जो कि इस चैप्टर की बची हुई, बाकी हमने पूरे चैप्टर की रीडिंग कर ली है. So let's start the reading summary. The living world is rich in variety. Okay, millions of plants and animals have been identified and described, but a large number still remain unknown. The very range of organism in terms of size, color, habitat, physiological and morphological features make us seek the defining characteristic of living organism. In order to facilitate the study of kind and diversity of organism, biologists have evolved certain rules and principles for identification, nomenclature and classification of organism. The branch of knowledge dealing with these aspects is referred to as taxonomy. The taxonomic studies of various species of plants and animals are useful in agriculture, forestry, industry, and in general for knowing our bioresources and their diversity. The basics of taxonomy, like identification, naming, and classification of organisms, are universally evolved under international codes. Based on resemblance and distinct differences, each organism is identified and assigned a correct scientific biological names, comprising two words as per the biological system of nomenclature. A organism occupies a place or position in the system of classification. There are many categories ranks and are generally referred to as taxonomic categories or taxa. All the categories constitute a taxonomic hierarchy. So इस पूरे चैप्टर की हमारी रीडिंग हो चुकी है.